He wants to play with the puzzle now. He needs a cookie. He needs another truck. He's going to drive everybody crazy. Hey there, OChemNinjas. Today, I want to talk about electrons and reactivity. This concept comes up all the time in the course. Whether it's in resonance, or SN1 and SN2, or nucleophilic acyl substitution, you're going to come across electrons and their reactivity over and over again. And the theme for this video is electrons don't like to be confined. You see, electrons are like a hyperactive child. If you put that hyperactive child in a very small room, he's going to be playing with the truck, he's going to want to show you the truck, he's going to need to go to the bathroom, he wants to play with the puzzle now, he needs a cookie, he needs another truck, he's going to drive everybody crazy! But if you can take that child and throw him out in the backyard, where he has more room to run around, everybody's just a little bit more stable and a little bit happier. Electrons are very similar. The more you try to confine electron density in a smaller and smaller volume, the more energetic those electrons are going to get, and the more reactive that molecule is going to be. But if you can take those electrons and you can spread them out over a larger volume, the electrons have more room to spread out, the electrons are more stable, and the whole molecule is more stable. We see this in something like an alkoxide. The oxygen atom has 3 lone pairs and a full negative charge. All that electron density is concentrated onto one oxygen atom that it can't share that electron density anywhere else, and that oxygen atom is very reactive and very unstable. Contrast that with the phenoxide. We still have an O- with 3 lone pairs of electrons and a full negative charge, but now we can take this lone pair and we can share that lone pair with the benzene ring through resonance. We can spread that electron density out over a larger volume. In fact, we can draw a couple of additional resonance contributors as well. Of these 2 molecules, which is more reactive? The one where the negative charge is concentrated in a very small volume is going to be more reactive. As I spread that electron density out over a larger volume, the electrons are more stable, and that makes the whole molecule more stable, and the whole molecule then is less reactive. This is especially true when the atom with the lone pair is not very electronegative. Carbon is less electronegative than oxygen. As we try and compact that electron density on a very small volume, a not very electronegative element that can't handle those electrons very well, that makes this lone pair even more unstable and even more reactive than when it was on oxygen. But when we can spread that electron density out through something like resonance, sharing this lone pair of electrons with the oxygen, that spreads out the electron density, makes those electrons more stable, it makes the whole molecule more stable, and makes the resonance stabilized lone pair less reactive than the non-resonance stabilized lone pair. We've been discussing lone pairs of electrons in this video, but the same is true for any charge density, even a positive charge density. As I have this positive charge and it's confined on one small atom in a very small volume, this positive charge is very unstable. But if I have a neighboring pi bond that I can use to share electrons with to spread that positive charge density out over a larger volume, that's going to make the positive charge more stable and the whole molecule more stable. And in general, with a few exceptions, the more resonance contributors I can draw, the more volume I have to spread out that charge density, and the more stable the molecule is going to be. With 3 pi bonds here, I can draw a lot of resonance contributors to spread this positive charge density out over all of these atoms. That's going to make this positive charge ultimately more stable than any of the others that I've drawn so far. Just as a quick aside, resonance is not the only way to spread out electron density. We can use electronegative elements to also help spread out the electron density. In this perfluorinated molecule, that means that all of the hydrogens have been replaced with fluorine. These fluorines are very electronegative. They are pulling electron density towards themselves and away from that oxygen with the negative charge. That helps to spread out that negative charge density through induction, not resonance, but it accomplishes the same task. It helps spread out that electron density, make those electrons more stable, and make the whole molecule more stable. In general, resonance does a better job of this, so the most stable molecule would likely be the resonance stabilized one, followed by the inductively stabilized one, and the least stable would not be stabilized at all. But that's getting a bit beyond the scope of this video. I have a separate video that I'll link to down below on ways to modulate electron density in a molecule. And modulating electron density is a really nice thing to keep up your sleeve. It's a nice, subtle trick that actually explains a lot of things in organic chemistry. But in this video, we're talking about electron density. The more we try and confine electron density, or charge density of any kind, into a smaller and smaller volume, the more reactive that molecule is going to be, and the more unstable it's going to be. But if we can spread that electron density out, if we can spread that charge density out over a larger volume, typically through resonance, that makes that molecule more stable and less reactive. And at least in terms of resonance, that's why resonance is so important. It helps make molecules more stable by spreading out that electron density, that charge density, over a larger volume. And this concept can help explain a lot of things in this course. It explains why resonance is so important and why drawing resonance contributors makes molecules more stable. It helps explain some of the reactivity difference in nucleophilic substitution, why some nucleophiles are better for SN1 and some nucleophiles are better for SN2. And it explains why some nucleophiles can directly attack carbonyls for nucleophilic acyl substitution, and why other nucleophiles need an acid catalyst for the reaction to occur. The more we can spread that charge density out, the more stable and the less reactive that molecule will be.
Thanks for watching. The best way you can support this channel is to let your friends know about these videos, especially ones who go to different schools. Help spread the word around the country. As always, Don't forget to like and subscribe.